War raged across the shattered battlefield as storm clouds churned overhead. Lightning split the darkened sky, illuminating broken stone pillars and scarred earth where warriors clashed in desperate struggle. Thunder rolled across the field like distant drums of war. Amid the chaos, a powerful form swept through the storm. An intense and climactic confrontation unfolded as Thundria, the majestic Topaz dragon, carved a path through the tumultuous battlefield. Her towering presence was a beacon of unwavering determination, her resplendent scales gleaming in the pale light piercing the storm. Each beat of her wings sent powerful gusts across the battlefield as she advanced through the conflict below. Across the war-torn field, another ancient presence stirred. Aurelia, the crystal ancient, lifted her gleaming head. Even in the midst of battle, she had seen her. For a brief moment, the storm-lit sky held two titanic forms facing one another across the chaos of war. Then Aurelia roared and launched into the sky. With a primal roar reverberating through the storm-filled air, Aurelia launched herself toward Thundria, her crystalline wings propelling her with deadly speed. The two ancient dragons closed the distance in a heartbeat. The collision of their colossal forms was a remarkable sight, an explosive clash of elemental power that sent shockwaves rolling across the battlefield below. Wings hammered against the raging wind as the dragons crashed together in midair. They locked jaws and talons, each vying for dominance over the other. Crystal scales flashed like shards of living light as Aurelia twisted against her opponent, while Thundria's radiant topaz armor gleamed like storm-forged gold beneath the lightning-lit sky. Their massive wings beat furiously as they grappled in the air, ancient strength straining against ancient strength. Warriors below scattered as the titanic struggle raged overhead, the clash of dragonkind echoing like thunder across the battlefield. Breaking free from the clash, the two dragons wheeled through the storm-dark sky, circling one another with deadly intent. Thundria surged upward through the clouds with a thunderous roar, lightning crackling across her radiant topaz scales. She dove again with tremendous force, her massive claws striking like falling meteors as she attempted to drive Aurelia back across the battlefield. But Aurelia answered with relentless precision. Her crystalline wings flashed through the storm as she twisted aside, the facets of her scales scattering brilliant shards of light through the darkness. Every movement of the crystal ancient carried the grace of something far older than the war itself. The two dragons collided again, jaws snapping and talons raking, as they fought for dominance high above the battlefield. The storm winds howled around them as ancient power met ancient fury, their battle illuminating the sky in flashes of lightning and crystal light. Below them the war continued, but all eyes turned upward. Aurelia's breath weapon surged to life. With a blinding flash of radiant energy, a cone of luminous crystalline shards erupted from her open maw. The brilliant fragments streaked through the sky like falling stars, their light cutting through the storm as they raced toward their target. These shards streaked through the sky like brilliant meteors, homing in on Thundria with relentless precision. Caught amid the sudden assault, the Topaz dragon struggled to evade the radiant barrage. Each shard that struck her gleaming scales burst with searing energy, the crystal fragments draining strength with every impact. The once vibrant brilliance of her topaz armor began to fade beneath the relentless storm of crystal light. Yet Thundria refused to yield. Despite the overwhelming assault, she fought on with an enthusiasm that refused to be extinguished, her thunderous roars echoing across the battlefield as she pushed forward against Aurelia's relentless advance. Yet even the strongest warriors can falter when fate turns against them. Aurelia seized her opportunity at a critical moment in the battle. With a sudden and unexpected movement, the Crystal Ancient unleashed another devastating shard attack. The radiant fragments streaked forward before Thundria could react. Caught off guard, the Topaz dragon took the full force of the attack. The shards struck with crushing impact, shattering the fragile balance of the battle. Then, with a resounding crash that shook the battlefield, Thundria fell. Her massive body plummeted from the storm-dark sky and slammed into one of the towering stone pillars that lined the battlefield. The ancient structure shattered instantly into a storm of broken fragments as the dragon collapsed against it. The ground trembled beneath the force of the impact. A heavy silence swept across the battlefield as warriors from both sides turned toward the fallen dragon, the weight of her defeat settling like a shadow over the conflict. Above the shattered pillar, Aurelia hovered in the storm-lit sky, her crystalline form radiant with triumph. Far from the battlefield, beyond the thunder of war, another dragon stirred. High among the rugged mountains of Etherion, the ancient dragon Zarathos lifted his head. The winds carried no sound of battle to those distant peaks, yet something had changed. A presence that had long burned in the depths of his awareness, steady and unyielding, had suddenly vanished. For a long moment the dragon remained perfectly still. Then the truth reached him. Thundria had fallen. A low rumble rolled through the mountain air as lightning flickered along the edges of his wings. His claws tightened against the stone beneath him, carving deep grooves into the ancient rock. Somewhere far beyond the horizon, a battle had claimed its prize. And the storm gathering in Zarathos' eyes promised that the cost of that victory had not yet been fully paid.